Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I've been having some trouble with the E36. Every time I take it out for a drive, this car vibrates at around in the lower gears, first and second and third, every time I go above 3,000 RPMs. This car vibrates like crazy, and I've read on the forums and everywhere else that it could be the flex disc, the Gaibo, and could be the CSB, the thing that goes in between the drive shafts, or it could be the diff mounts, or the motor mounts, or the trans mounts. So a lot of factors there. So I've decided to replace all of them, all the rubber bushings on the drivetrain, and I would have done it all together today, but I need the garage space for my M5 that's parked outside before they start spraying salt on the street. So what I'm gonna do first is just take care of the motor mounts and then slowly go do the trans mounts. So let's get on to it. Okay, so the tools I'm going to be using to replace the motor mounts is this 24-inch 3/8 socket extension and the swivel ratchet. Maybe I'll need this, I'm not sure, maybe for the driver side, and a 16mm socket. Okay, so the reason we need a swivel extension is because the bolt is facing towards the engine, and let's see if we can get it. Okay. On the passenger side, it's a little bit tricky. It's a tight spot, but I think you can still take it out without removing any of the airbox and any of the parts, the ammunition and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm under the car, and okay, so the bolt that's underneath the motor mount is just where the control arm, the lower control arm is. So at first it was tough for me to find it because I was looking closer to the oil pan. But anyway, I sprayed some WD-40. I'm gonna remove this now. It's the same 16mm bolt, I think. Okay, so this is what I found underneath the car. This looks like something from Home Depot. This is definitely not OEM. I'm glad that I'm doing this, but hopefully the other side is just the same. So replacing the motor mounts should definitely help the car. Alright, so the motor mounts that came out of the car, not too bad. Maybe just a little bit worn out. But what happened was these motor mounts were not torqued. They were literally loose. I could take them off my hand. And the previous owner used probably bolts from Home Depot, something like that. These are the original motor mount bolts. So I have them, and now it's time to install them back together. Alright, so I've lowered the engine on the engine mounts. It was a little bit tough, the driver's side especially, because there's not much room, and this is a lowered car, and this is the space between the control arms is not enough to push the stock motor mounts in, so I had to use a mallet to get it in. Anyway, I finally did that, and alright, so I'm going to torque these bolts down. These are M10 bolts, so I'm going to torque them down to 35 foot-pounds because I'm using a swivel socket. Alright, so after I put everything back in, I realized I left this heat shield out of the car. Doesn't look too thick, so the engine shouldn't be off balance or something like that, but I will put it back in whenever I jack the car up again. But it has definitely reduced some of the vibrations that I've been having in low revs and anything above 3,000 RPM. But it's still not solved. I can still feel the vibration in the back, which has to be related to something in the back or the drivetrain instead of the engine mounts. But they were definitely not bolted tightly because it took. I could loosen the bolts by hand. So I will get on to doing the transmission mounts and maybe taking out the diff today once I pull the car up in the garage. It's raining outside, as you guys can see. Or I might just take it drifting. So hopefully I'll add another video today. So hopefully if the park is empty, we might as well go and do it. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching this video.